Hello and welcome. In this video tutorial, we're going to do question 1 from the 12th of May 2021 CSEP Mathematics Booklet 2. So let's look at question 1. So in question 1, you're required to answer all questions and all working out must be clearly shown. So part 1A, you're required to use in a calculator or otherwise calculate the exact value of the fraction given. So you can use a calculator or otherwise. So we're going to go otherwise and we're going to work that out, after which I'll use a calculator to illustrate how it's done as well. So let's have a look at the question. So we have 1 4/7 divided by 2/3 minus 1 5/7. But before we do anything, we need to examine the fraction. And by the rules of indices, division comes before subtraction. So you need to put a bracket around the division part of the question. So let's do that. We're going to insert a bracket around the division part. So in this case, we insert a bracket here, we insert a bracket here. So when we work this part out, what we get there is 11/7 divided by 2/3. Now when we divide a fraction, we multiply it by the reciprocal of the number that we are dividing it by. So in this case, what we have there is 11/7 times the reciprocal of 2/3 there would be 3/2. And what we get there is 33/14. Okay, so we work out the bracket. So what we have is 33/14 minus 1 5/7. That's 12/7. We want the denominators to be the same, so we can make this become 14 by multiplying it by 2 and multiplying the numerator by 2. So what we have is 33/14 minus 24 then over 14. So now we can subtract the numerator. So what we get there is 9/14 as the answer. Let's use the scientific calculator to quickly illustrate this working out. So with the scientific calculator, this part represents the fraction part. So we're going to input 11/7 divided by 2/3 minus 12/7 and we get 9/14 as required. Let's move on to the next part of the question. So part B, when Megan started working, she was paid $85 each week. After a 6-month probationary period, her pay increased by 20%. How much was she paid each week after the increase? So we know that Megan's pay was $85 each week. So 100% of her pay previously was $85. So to get a further 20%, we need to add 20% on this. So let's do 10% and then we double it. What's 10% of 85? That's $8.50. And another 10. Let's just add another 10 there. That would be $8.50. and we just add this up, and then that should give us our answer. And by adding this up, what we get there is $102. So that's the increase she gets each week. Let's move on to the next part of the question. Okay, so we finished. We need to go on to the next page. So part C, it says in 1965 the population of a country A was 2,714,000, and in 2015 the population was 3,663,900. So part A, you are required to write the population in 2015 to three significant figures. So in 2015 the population was that. So we have 3,663,900. The three significant figures, you count the first three numbers, you put a check line in between here, between the 3 and the 6. If this number, since this number is less than 5, we do not increase anything here. So what we would have is 3, 6, 6, and then everything else after here becomes 0. We would have 4 zeros after. Okay, so what we have there is 3,660,000 to three significant figures. Three significant figures. And we want to write the population in 1965 in standard form. So the population in 1965 is this. So in standard form it would be 2.714 times 10 to the, let's see, 10 to the 6. Okay. 10 to the number 6, okay? And then we move on to part 2. It says determine the percentage increase in the population from 1965 to 2015. So in 2015 the population was 3,660,000. No, the population in 2015 was 3,663,900. And in 1965 the population was 2,714,000. And we need to do the difference between these. What we get there is 949,900. 949,900. Okay, so that's the increase. So the percentage increase then would be the increase over the original amount, so times 100. So we would have the increase as 949,900. That's the increase over the original population, which was 2,714,000. Times that by 100. What we get there is 35% increase. Okay? Moving on. So in part D, the ratio of teachers to male students to female students in a school is 3 to 17 to 18. And it says that if the total number of students in the school is 630, determine the number of teachers in the school. So we have some information here that we need to look at. So the ratio of teachers to male to female is 3 to 17 to 18. So in total, the total number of parts there would be 38. So we have 38 parts, okay? So we don't know the total number of people in the school. We don't know that, but we were given that if the total number of students is in the school is 630. So we have to decide that the total number of students there would be male and female. So we need to add these two together, and that gives us 35 parts. So 35 parts, and that's the total number of students, and it's 630. 630 students. So we can find one part. So 35 into 630, that's 18. Okay? So now it means that we can work out the number of teachers. Teachers are 3 parts, yeah? 3. So if one part is 18, teachers represent 3 parts, so 3 times 18, that's 54. So teachers there would be 54. There are various ways how you could do this. Okay. Another way in which you could do that, is to simply write 35 as a fraction of the number of parts there. So we would have 35 over 38. We don't know the number of teachers in this people in the school, so we call that X, and that represents 630. And when you simplify this, you could find X. So when we work out X there, we get X as 684. So male and female would represent 684. So all you need to do now is to subtract 630 to get the teachers. So once you get this, I think most students would sort of come to the understanding of this, right? And then they would take away 630 from 684 minus 630, because that's the number of students. So once you subtract that, you're going to get 54 as the teachers. So it all depends on how you want to work it out, but this is the easiest approach to it, okay? Here ends question 1.